Interpreting a histogram. All right, so histograms look like bar graphs. They're a little different as far as what is included in them. So if you don't know what a histogram is, we can click on it here. So histogram is a display that gives information about numbers in a data set. It shows how the numbers are grouped. So it shows a grouping of numbers. And for a histogram, usually we butt the bar graph right up to each other, so there's no spaces or anything like that. But it's basically just another type of bar graph. So Marvel US is a service that streams shows and movies over the internet. As a new subscriber, Gary counted the number of episodes that are available through the service for a selection of his favorite TV shows. And the histogram below summarizes the data. Use the histogram to answer each question. So we have 3 questions over here. Sorry, alarm's going off. How many shows have from 11 to 16 episodes? So we go, here's 11 to 16. So we look at this one and we go, oh, it has 5, because that's where the top of this bar graph is. So the answer is 5. How many shows have 17 or more episodes? So remember, this is the number of episodes down at the bottom here. So this starts at 17. So I want to know how many episodes are this to the right. Sorry, couldn't think of my word there. So I need to figure out how many are on this bar graph. I have 3. In this bar graph, I have 9. And I'm just going to the top here and I'm looking over and seeing where they land. And then in this bar graph, or this bar, I have 6. So I have to add them all together. And I get 18 because 3 plus 9 plus 6 is 18. All right. Now I have, what is the class width? So if we go like this and we scroll down, because they'll explain what that means down here too a little bit nicer. So if we subtract the lower limits of each pair of consecutive classes, we find the width of each class. For the width of the class, we pretend there is another class beyond it. So we have 11 minus 5, 17 minus 11. So if you notice, they go 11 minus 5. And then, and here I'll click on a different one. For this next one, they go 17 minus 11. And then they go 23 minus 17. And let's see, what have I not used here? Bright blue. And then they go 29 minus 23. And then we need to go right beyond it. Let's go with orange here. So right past this one would be 35. So they go 35 minus 29. So each one is 6. So the class width is 6. So basically, how many numbers are in between? What's the range of each bar? That's what that means. All right, so let's clear this and go ahead and start one. Okay, so it says let's see, for the special Thanksgiving edition of local newspaper, a reporter wrote a heartwarming piece. In the piece, there appeared figures on the number of turkey dinners served by various local charities. The histogram below summarizes the data. Use the histogram to answer each of the questions. Sorry, trying to read that too quickly. So one class is the most frequent. How many charities are in this class? So we look at this and we say the most frequent. So that's this one because it's the top. How many charities are in this one class? So remember, number of charities is going up the side here, and number of turkey dinners is along the bottom. So and by class they just mean like bars. So this one is the most frequent, which is 90 to 139, and there's 9 charities. All right, what is the class width? So remember, this is the one where we want to figure out how many are between each one. So I'm going to go, just click my pen here. I have 140 minus 90. So I subtract and I get 50. If I do the same thing for the next one, so we want to make sure that it's the same thing between each one. We have 190 minus 140 and we get 50 again. And then let's go with pink here. So we have 240 minus 190. And we get 50. And I didn't do my borrowing, but I know if I go one more than 190, I get 200, and then 40 more gives me 50. All right, and then we'll go with kind of a bright blue here. So we have 290 minus 240. All right, I have another 50. So if I go one more, because that's what we have to do for the last one here, you have to go one more. If I could go one more here, it'd be 340. So I have 340, and I'm going to subtract the 290 from it. So this is also 50. So my width, my class width, they're calling it class, but it just means the bar width is 50. All right, according to the histogram, what is the total number of charities? So I'm going to clear this out. And what we need to do is we need to write our total number of charities in here so we can see. So this one has 9, because that's what bar graph goes up to. We have 5. Then we have 4, 2, and I believe that's another 4. Yep, another 4. All right, so now we want to add all these together. So we have 9 plus 5, that's 14, plus 4, that's 18. So this was 9 plus 5. Sorry, didn't write it down. I just said it out loud. And that's plus 4, which is the next one, plus 2 is 20. 20 plus 4 is 24. So you don't necessarily have to write all this out, but I was just adding them. Got 18. 4 more is, 14 plus 4 more is 18, plus 2 more is 20, plus 4 more is 24. So you don't necessarily have to add them that way. And they do give you a calculator here, so I could have used a calculator to add them also. Like that. And we're good to go. All right, let's do the next one here. So Critic, I think is how you say that. Critic is a website where fans of horror films go to write movie reviews. On the website's homepage, there is a display of the number of movies reviewed by a selection of the site's top critics. The histogram below summarizes the data. Use the histogram to answer each of the questions. So what is the class width? Remember, that just means what is the width of each one of these bars. So if you notice in the example and in the last one, we don't really have to do each and every one. We can do the first couple, and as long as we get the same number, we should be good. They're not going to switch it up on us. Oops, do that arrow above the wrong one here. They're not necessarily going to switch it up on us in this format. So we get 23 minus 15. And so I have 5 more, 3 more, that's 8. All right, and if I did the next one, so I'll go ahead and do it real quick just because they did it on the last one. So 31 minus 23. So this is 7. 1 more is 8. And then if we do the very last one, remember what you want to look for here is just go one more than this. So I have 39, and I would subtract 31. So we have to go one past what we would, so we get 8. So all of them are 8s. So that tells me my class width is 8. And I'm going to clear this so that it's not all written on there. How many critics have 30 or fewer movie reviews? So these are the movie reviews. I want 30 or fewer. So I want to go here, and I want to figure out how many are to the left of that number, to that line. So I want to go through, and I have 5 in this one. I have 7, and then I have 2. So I want to add these together. So I get, let's see, 14 if I add 7 plus 5 plus 2. Okay. How many critics have 31 to 38 movie reviews? So I'm just going to go to that range, 31 to 38, and I want to know how many are in this bar. So I have 6 in this bar because that's where it goes to. 6. Check. All right. One more. The executives of High Grade, a soda and energy drink company, conducted a quarterly review of the company's production facilities. For the review, the number of work stoppages due to mechanical failure were counted at each of the company's bottling plants. The histogram below summarizes the data. Use the histogram to answer each of the questions. So we want to know what the width of the class is. So again, we've already tested this a couple times. The width of the class doesn't change. Each width is the same. And class just means the bar. So it's the range. Instead of saying what is the width of each bar or each piece of the graph, they're just saying class. So remember, class just means what's the width of this bar. So we have 11 to 4. So 11 minus 4, and we get, what do we get? We get 7. And then if I did the same thing, and I know I'm going to do the same color here, I'll change my color just a little bit. So we can check one more here. So we have 18 minus 11, and oh, that is a horrible blue because it's really hard to read. Sorry. We have 7 again. So if we keep going, we'll get 7 each time. So I know the width is 7. Okay. Now, one class is the least frequent. How many bottling plants are in this class? So least frequent means I want to go to the one that's the lowest. And how many are in this class? I come over here and I go, oh, there's 3. So I'm going to write 3 in here. How many bottling plants have 18 or more work stoppages? So I want 18 or more. So I'm going to draw a line at 18 or more. And I'm going to go everything that has more than that line. So then I need to count. So this one has 5 and this one has 4. So together it's a 9. 9 and check. And that's the answer. Yay! All right, we finished another one.